bringing you Looking Live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-0 New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Washington Commanders. Why the Washington Commanders 0-16? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all going to listen to me talk here? I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Or anybody spends any time watching a replay of this, once again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. I'm going to try, oh my God, going to try about 30 minutes here tonight, as I always do. Try to shoot my mouth off here. Anybody got anything to say? Fire away, just throw away in the chat box. I try to check on the chat box like every 5-10 minutes or so. So anybody got anything to say, just please feel free to fire away. I always try to respond to everything, every comment that gets put in the chat box, right? So before we get started, if anybody want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. I greatly appreciate it. The top link in the description box below, there's a link you can click on it. It takes you to my membership page, I guess it is. There's I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. The second membership level is called the Lawrence Taylor, and the third membership level is called the Gridiron. Each one's got its own little perks to it and everything like that. There's loyalty badges. They got emojis. I got 4 emojis right now, which you can use, in the comments section and all of that. I will eventually have a 5th emoji coming out. But anybody wants to help support my channel, it would mean the world to me. And then if you're not subscribed to the channel, please click that subscribe button below, right? And hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or next time I put out a video, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. All right. Once again, and it would mean so much to me. Then also, in the description box below, okay, there is, there's a couple Facebook links. Okay. The first one, okay, the top one is a group I got. It's called the Gridiron. It's a group, okay? As of right now, we have over 1,800 members in there, okay? People are putting stuff in there all the time, all right? As I usually, I try to put stuff like, every day, try to put like at least 5 things in there, maybe more every day. Plus, I said, if you become a member, okay, you can post stuff in the group as well, too. So between the group, between me and the members, okay, there's at least 5 to 10 different items going in there every day. Just try to keep it updated, try to keep it fresh, all right? So please click on that link. Once it's free of charge, become a member of the New York Giants, the Gridiron group, okay? Then I got 2 links below that. There's 2 pages I have. One of them I'm not as active in. It's called the New York Giants, This Day in New York Giants History, okay? I try to, I will eventually start having more, spending more time on that. Right now, I haven't been able to spend as much time as I would like on that one. But there's another one. There's a page I have, okay, which as of right now, there's 289 people like it. It's called the New York Giants. Once again, it's called the Gridiron. Right? 289 people like it. 669 people are following. Every day I'm getting like 20 to 30 new people following it. It's really taken off. I think yesterday I had like 590 or something. So I've gotten about 70 new followers in the past, like this weekend. I mean, it's crazy. I tell you, it's the same thing with the group. I put at least 5 to 10 new items in there every day. Right. So I always keep it fresh and updated. Nothing really stays stale in there. There's always new items going on there, everything. So once again, please become a member of the group, right? And then also click the link for the page, the New York Giants, the Gridiron page. Like it and become a follower too. You won't be sorry, okay? Fresh stuff in there all the time. So, all right. Now I'll tell you what. Talking about kissing your sister, huh? Oh, my God. Huh? Well, you knew it wasn't going to be pretty. I guess you could say at least they didn't lose. They didn't win, but they didn't lose, it was a hard. I mean, you got to give the Commanders a lot of credit too. I mean, the Commanders. What do we got here? I'm looking at the stats here. Commanders. This included overtime too, but the Commanders had over 400 yards of offense. Right. I mean, at the time of possession, they totally dominated. They had the ball for 41 minutes. The Giants had it for 28. Each team had a turnover, which was costly. Okay. The Commanders' turnover wound up being costly, and Daniel Jones's fumble wound up turning into 3 points for the Commanders. Okay. Daniel Jones had one incomplete in the first. I think it was like 12 out of 13 or something. The only incompletion he had in the first half was when he spiked the ball with like 6 seconds left to go, so they could kick the tying field goal going into halftime. Okay, so he had a very, very good first half. I mean, the Giants had it. They were down 10-0, right, and then it wound up coming back. They scored 13 points in the second quarter, but I mean, being down 10-0, right, and then you got to give the defense a lot of credit. After the first quarter, okay, the Giants were down 10-0. So between the second quarter, the third quarter, the fourth quarter, and overtime, basically, overtime's 10 minutes. It's not quite, a full quarter. But I want to say like basically almost like the last 4 quarters of the game, the Giants gave up 10 points on defense. So even though the Commanders moved the ball up and down the field, they had a lot of had a lot of yards. They kept them out of the end zone. They pretty much kind of kept them out of the, off the scoreboard. The one thing you could say is that, when it was that freaking fourth, what was it? I don't know what it was. Fourth down and whatever the hell it was, with like a minute 40 or 50 to go. The Commanders were in their own end, side of the field. It was fourth down and something, and they decided to go for it instead of maybe kicking. Let the Giants get it, and then maybe using their timeouts and everything. If the Giants stopped them there, the game was pretty much over. Now, the Giants couldn't have run the clock out, but they were close enough. Graham Gano could have kicked the field goal, put the Giants up by 10 points, and the Commanders would have scored 2 times in basically like the last minute of the game with pretty much no timeouts. And that pretty much quite possibly would not have happened. So, I mean, if the Giants on that fourth down conversion, whatever it was, a minute 45, whatever the heck it was. Let me see here. Let's see if I can play by play. Let's see if I can figure this out here. Punt, touchdown. There we go, touchdown. All right, let's look for fourth down. What do we got? Fourth down, 4th and 4. That's what it was. Okay, 4th and 4. Oh, it was 2:47 left. Okay, I didn't think it was that much. But okay, 2:47. But I mean, where were they at? They're on 27. So if the Giants, held them, the Giants could have maybe ran the ball a few times, used up the Commanders' timeouts, and maybe got the 2-minute warning or whatever. And with maybe about 2 minutes left, they would have had to kick the field goal, all right? And if Gano made it, would have been 23-13. Giants would have been up by 2 scores. Commanders would have had to score 2 times in the final 2 minutes with no timeouts. Would have been rather tough, I would think. Okay. But it was just like in slow motion. Heineke's rolling out, to his left. He's rolling. We got like there's 2 or 3 guys running after him, applying the pressure, running. Heineke's looking, scrambling. He's getting closer and closer. I don't know if he could have ran for the first down. Right, but he was getting closer and closer to the sideline, and like everything just starts slowing down, and you're like, "Come on, sack his ass! Come on, baby, you got him! Here we go!" And then he just lets this floater go. Everything is slow motion, and the ball is just kind of fluttering in the air, and then because you don't see the receiver, he's out of the screen, so then then you start seeing the ball real slowly, right? And then as they pan in on the receiver, you're like, the mother effer's open. It's like, and the ball just kind of flutters into his hands. He catches the ball, and he's got a first down. Like, come on. And, of course, they scored the touchdown. I think it was Zion Gilbert. I think he was the one that missed the tackle. And, the guy went in and Yes, it's a freaking flood. Pissed off. Let's see. What do we got? The Dotson. Okay, it was Dotson. Okay. I think Gilbert was covering him and missed the tackle, and then Dotson worked his way into the end zone there to tie it up. I was like, oh, because the Giants, where did they go? Yep. Yeah. That's right. I think he threw two deep passes. Darius Slayton had a wonderful game, very good game. Had it went up, made a nice catch. Oh, what the hell did he get here? Hold on. Let's see here. Box score, please. Darius Slayton had himself, had a nice catch. He had 6 catches for 90 yards. So, I mean, that long 6 catches out of 8 targets. Very good. 75%. Can't complain. 55, that long one of 55. The one was where when the Giants got the ball back, right? And Jones just lobbed it up there, and Slayton was open, all right? I don't know if he jumped too soon or he should have been back maybe a step or so, but he jumped up and didn't and got it. It was coming down, and then he wound up fumbling and it fell incomplete. That one that might have possibly set up the game-winning field goal, but is what it is. But then the Giants, I think, threw 3 incomplete passes right there. Boom, boom, boom. Punted the ball back to the Commanders, and I'm like, oh my God, the Commanders are going to score two times in the final 2 minutes. They're going to score the game-tying touchdown. And all I can see is that all I had to do was get in the field goal range, right, and kick the game-winning field goal, and the Giants would have lost. I'm like, oh, my God, we're going to give up 10 points in the final 2 minutes and lose this freaking ball game. But thankfully, that didn't wind up happening. Okay, let's see here. So, play-by-play. All right. That didn't happen, thankfully, okay. Then we got in overtime. Giants got the ball 3 times. The Commanders got it twice, and of course, then the Giants had that one, the field goal right there at the end. Because it's tough to tell because when you're seeing the field goal try, you're looking at it from the end zone. So Gano kicks it, and it's like it's if it's long enough, it's good. And you look and you're getting ready to jump out of your seat and yell and high five everybody and all of that. And then it lands and it's like, oh, it's short of the crossbar. But I mean, I guess, last week he kicked a 57-yarder last week against the Cowboys. Well, this one was a little bit short. I guess, it could have been the outside, the elements, who knows? Could have been some wind, who knows? But it was a little short. But, man. I'll tell you that there was some good, there was some bad. The thing was a little kind of bummed you out is that what the heck? When did the Giants score here? Let's see here. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Oh my God. Into the second quarter. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Here we go. Figure this out here. We got second goal at the Washington 6. Hodgins, huh? How about him? Isaiah, huh? Very, very good. What did he wind up with? I'll tell you, I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination, Joe, we got ourselves an all-pro here. We got ourselves but 5 receptions, 44 yards. 5 receptions. He had the 1 touchdown, his first career touchdown, right? 5 touchdowns out of 6 targets, right? His long was 12 yards, okay, but he had 5 receptions. Daniel Bellinger, thank goodness he came back. 5 receptions, okay? Saquon, 5 receptions. Breida had 1, and Richie James had 3. Okay. But, Hodgins, right? Very, very good. Very, very impressive. But the thing is that we go back here to play-by-play. I'm looking at this ESPN, their stats here, right? The Giants scored their touchdown early in the third quarter. What do we got? 11:34 left to go. Okay, so there's about 11 and a half minutes left to go in the third quarter. And the Giants didn't score another point the rest of the game. So basically the last 11 minutes of the third quarter, last 15 minutes of the fourth quarter. So that's 26 minutes. And then 10 minutes of overtime. So it's the last 36 minutes of the football game, right? Which is well over a half, right? Basically, it's like the last, 36 minutes, like almost 2.5 quarters, right? The Giants couldn't score a point. Could not score. In the last 36 minutes of the game, if the Giants could have scored 1 point, however, one, they would have won the game. I mean, it was like they got shut out in the first quarter, and then all of a sudden they scored 4 drives in a row, right? They got to kick the field goal, scored a touchdown, kick the field goal, scored a touchdown, and then that was it. The rest of the game, they couldn't solve the Commanders' their defense. I mean, the Giants, there was one, I know it was, when was it? It was, I believe it was in the fourth quarter. The Giants had the ball. They just, let me see if I can, I'm probably going to forget. And the fourth, let's see here. Giants had 3 plays. Where the hell was it? End of the fourth quarter. I'm probably going to wind up screwing this up here. So I remember the Giants had a drive. Was this it? No, that wasn't it. And they wound up, they had a penalty called on them. Okay, the penalty was called on, that's not it. 4 plays minus 2 yards. Maybe that was it. I don't know. Yep, that's it. Okay. With 6 minutes, 22 seconds left to go. Okay. And this also could have cost the Giants the game too. The penalty, the taunting penalty on Feliciano, holding up his arms. I get it. I understand. I don't know if you can hold your arms up, but I guess you can't do it in the face of a defender or of an opponent. Daniel Jones passed short right to Darius Slayton, got for 12 yards. Okay. I believe it was good for a first down to the Washington 35-yard line. From right there, it would have been a 52 or 53-yard field goal if the Giants did not gain another yard. If the Giants ran the ball like 3 times up the middle, got down, say, to the 30-yard line, it would have been like a 47, 48-yard field goal for Graham Gano. Possibly he makes it. Okay. But the taunting 15-yard penalty, okay, put the ball back to midfield. Went from the 35 back to midfield. It was still 1st and 10. Okay, so the Giants still had the ball, right? 1st and 10. It wasn't like it was 1st and 25, but it was 1st and 10. All right. So the next play, Daniel Jones went to Slayton again, got 3 yards. All right. And Saquon Barkley ran, got no yards. All right. And then of course, on the 3rd down and 7, okay, Daniel Jones gets sacked, basically back out to midfield, and takes him obviously out of field goal range. Now, they had the ball at the Washington 47. Had they completed the 3rd and 7, right, got down to the 40, maybe got a few more plays, they could have maybe gotten a field goal. But between the penalty on a 15-yard penalty on Feliciano, took him from the 35 of Washington, took him out of field goal range. Stupid, right? And then the sack. I mean, if Jones could have gotten the ball off and maybe gotten 7 yards on a pass completion, but he got sacked and kept him out of field goal range. So, and then of course, the Heineken strikes again. The Modelo Especial, the Corona Light, Terra Corona Light strikes again. He's like the Cobra, right? Right? He got us last year. He got us again this year. The Cobra strikes, right? What did he do? Last year, I'm going to look. I know they scored last year. They scored, Giants. I'm going to type this in. Giants at Redskins. I'll put Commanders. So I may not respond to Redskins. Giants at Redskins 2021. Taylor Heineke, right, obviously drove him down to the game-winning field goal. Okay, here we go. Yes, ma'am. Right? Nope. 2021. Commanders and Giants, December 4th. Giants, Commanders. Oh, you know what? Nah. Wait, let me see. Is this going to do it? 2021, 30. Let's see, box. Let's see, box score. Is that going to show? Yes, it will. Okay, cool. Thank you. Awesome. All right. So, with about 4.5 minutes to go, okay. Well, the Giants went up with about 4 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Okay. The Giants went up in a Graham Gano 55-yard field goal. Giants went up 26-20. Okay. 4 minutes and 50 seconds to go, basically. So just about 5 minutes. 5 minutes to go. Taylor Heinicke gets the ball. I forgot what the drive was, like 4-play drive or something like that. Took him, oh my God, 17 seconds to score a freaking touchdown. 17 seconds. Taylor Heinicke drives him down the field, and they score a touchdown to go up 27-20. Giants couldn't, 17 seconds. Okay. Giants get the ball, march down the field. Graham Gano kicks a field goal, 35 yards, puts the Giants up 29-27 with 2 minutes to go. Taylor Heinicke gets the ball once again, drives him right down the field. Okay. Now, I've said this a million times. Dexter Lawrence was not offside. That was a bad call by the refs. He was not offsides on the missed field goal attempt, okay, by the Redskins, by Hopkins, right? Hopkins missed the first one. They called it penalty on Dexter Lawrence for being offsides. He moved with the ball. He moved when the ball moved. He was not offsides. Bad call by the refs. However, they gave Hopkins another try, right? It was from 43 yards, and he makes it. And the Washington football team at the time winds up winning. But my point is that 2 times in the final 5 minutes of the game, Heinicke needed points, and he got him. He just walked right down the field, and he got him. This time, thankfully, okay, it was just a tie, wound up a tie. You know, we had that 4th down, he had that conversion, right? And what the heck, what we got? I mean, the Giants did very well. Okay, you got to give their defense a lot of credit. Okay, what do we got? 3rd down conversions. The Commanders were 3 out of 14. Fantastic. You got them the 3rd down. You got them off the field. Okay. Problem was on that 1 4th down conversion, they made it. All right. That was if they would have stopped them on that, the Giants probably would have won the football game. But they did a very, very good job. As I said, Taylor Heinicke marched them down the field, got the tying touchdown. Thankfully, he didn't score again, in the final minute or so when they got the ball back. And they could have, if they got 30 yards or so or whatever, they would have wound up kicking probably the game-winning field goal. But it was not meant to be. I mean, it is what it is. Now, one thing I do want to point out, okay? What do we got? Daniel Jones, they got him some plays in there, okay? Saquon, 18 carries, 63 yards. Nothing super spectacular, 3.5. He busted 1 for 21 yards. So basically he had 17 carries for 42 yards for the rest of the game, 17 for 42. So, I mean, they got that's not, the Commanders have a good run defense, okay? And the Giants had 134 yards, all right? But the Commanders themselves, they got 165 yards. Taylor Heinicke also had 275 yards passing. We had 200, okay? The Commanders, they had, a lot of time of possession, okay? One thing I do want to point out, okay, and we'll go over this. The Giants had 10 quarterback. Finally, we saw some freaking pressure. Finally, the last 2 games, we had no sacks. This time, we had 5 sacks, okay? I actually saw Kayvon Thibodeau. Nobody blocked him, okay? But Kayvon Thibodeau actually got his first sack, okay, of the quarterback, all right, where he actually tackled the quarterback to the ground. So Kayvon's up to 2 sacks this year, okay? I think Azeez got 1. Let me see. I got to find Ojulari. Let's start from the bottom. Ojulari. Yep. Ojulari had 1. He had 1. Yeah, 1 tackle, 1 sack. Okay, what do we got? Justin Ellis, number 71. He had a sack. Jihad Ward had a sack at old 55. Kayvon had a sack. Sexy Dexter had a sack. And the one thing was, it was a shame was that, Leo the Lion had to come out. You can see him working on his neck on the sideline. So we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully he'll be able to play next week, because next week, let's say, we're playing the Eagles, right? And, of course, the Eagles, everybody's healthy on the Eagles, and everybody's hurt on the Giants. And just amazing how everything is lining up just perfectly for either the Eagles or the Cowboys maybe to make it to the Super Bowl. Everything's lining up absolutely freaking perfectly. Because what happened, one of the biggest opponents that one of those teams is going to face would be in the playoffs would be the 49ers. Well, what happens to the 49ers? Well, Jimmy Garoppolo breaks his foot. He's out for the season. So their first string quarterback is out for the season. Their second string quarterback's out for the season. Now they got a third string quarterback out there, right? So even though they got a great defense and this, that, and the other thing, they're on their third string quarterback, right? So everything's working out just perfectly. Everybody on the Eagles is absolutely perfectly healthy, okay? And everybody on all the other teams is all hurt, right? So everything's lining up just perfectly for the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl. Simply amazing, right? But anyway, Julian Love, man, he was a freaking monster. He had, some of this, he had 12 tackles, Julian Love. Sexy Dexter, 9 tackles, right? As I said, Leo the Lion, I hope his neck gets better. I hope he's okay for next week, because we can certainly use him, all right? Micah McFadden had 9 tackles. Nick McLeod with 8. Zion Gilbert with 7. Fabian, he had a good game. He had 7. Kayvon with 5. He had 2 quarterback hits. Sexy Dexter had 2 quarterback hits. They were hitting him. They were hitting Heineke. They were hitting him without question. Jihad Ward had 2 hits. What do we got? Leonard Williams had a hit. Justin Ellis had a hit. Azeez had 2 hits. So, all right. So, we were getting pressure. That was good to see. Okay. We got down early. We got down 10-0. We came back. Okay. We were able to tie it up. We actually took the lead. Just that, unfortunately, with the lack of playmakers that we have, a couple self-destructive, the penalty on Feliciano. There was the one play toward the end down there where the Giants, I think they had, was it 3rd and 2, and they were trying to go for it, and they tried to do some kind of silly maneuver in the back with, I don't know if Breida was there or who the hell was back there. Breida and Barkley were back there, and Daniel Jones tried to pretend to hand the ball off to one of them. They just screwed that all up, and Daniel Jones ran and tried to get the first down, but he got stopped short. I mean, that was a self-destructive play right there. They screwed that one up, but I mean, it is what it is. Sadly, unfortunately, tomorrow I'm going to wind up going over PFF, go the team and player grades, from this game here and all. But, the Giants needed a victory here. They didn't get it. However, they didn't want to get a loss. So they still only have 4 losses, okay, which is, it's better than the Commanders, because Commanders got 5. But we're going to be playing the Commanders in 2 weeks. Now, the problem is that we're playing the Eagles. As I said, the Eagles are flying high. Everybody's healthy. They run 53 guys onto the field at the beginning of the game. Those same 53 run off. Everything's just hunky-dory for the Eagles. Everything's just lining up just perfectly for them to go to the Super Bowl. Simply amazing. Right? So, I mean, the Giants, they need all the help they can get next week, right? Hopefully we can get some guys back, some more guys back. The problem is that, by the time we want to play the Commanders, okay, the Giants might quite possibly be 7-5. All right, we'll be tied possibly with the Commanders 7-5, 7-5. All right, so this could be a battle, for maybe one of the last playoff spots. Okay, the Giants got to play the Eagles 2 times. We got to play the Vikings. All right, then we got to play the Commanders one more time. So I mean, it's not going to be easy, guys. It's not going to be easy, but we know we can hang tough with the Commanders. Right? Maybe we'll get some guys back. We can make some adjustments. Maybe we can beat the Commanders in Washington. All right. But next week's going to be very difficult against the Eagles. We have a hard time beating, and we beat them last year. Okay, hold on. I'm just for shits and giggles here. Giants versus Eagles. The results. I mean, yeah, we beat them last year. Let's go here. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, so let's. All right, the Giants beat them. Okay. So, I mean, I don't know. You want to go back? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 22 of the last 28 games we played against the Eagles, we've lost. 22 out of the last 28 games, we're 6 and 22 against the Eagles. Okay. We did beat them 2 games in a row. Okay. We beat them 27-17 in 2020. That was when, the whole NFC East was horrible, right? 2020. Remember that when, the Commanders went to the playoffs with a 7-9 record. Giants were 6-10. So we beat the Eagles one time, and then we beat them again 13-7. All right. And then, but last year, when we played them the second time, the Eagles the second time, okay, we lost 34-10. Totally got annihilated. All right. But we're 6-22 in the last 28 games against the Eagles. We have a hard time beating them. We're hurt. The Eagles are not. Okay. And, we have a hard time playing. And the Eagles are a good team. Good team. Right? Now, question. Without question. But if they were on their third and fourth, fifth string wide receivers, right? If they had their starting cornerbacks hurt, and this, that, and the other thing, you can go on and on and on. The Eagles would not be as good as they are. All right. But it's going to be hard. And we got to play the Eagles 2 times. All right. So, yeah, it certainly, it didn't kill us that we tied. Obviously, it didn't help, but at least we still only have 4 losses, right? But got the Commanders, 2 against the Eagles, the Vikings, and the Colts. We got 5, 4 real tough games, and then the Colts game is at home. I mean, the Colts, ain't no gimme, absolutely not. So it's gonna be tough for the Giants, right? Very, very tough, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm not thrilled to death because we won, but I'm not totally pissed off because we lost. But kind of odd, though, because the last time we tied a team was the Washington /Commanders /Redskins, 1997. We tied them 7-7. That year we were 10-5-1. We wound up winning the division. But so last time we wound up tying a team was 25 years ago in 1997. We tied the Washington at the time, the Washington Redskins. We tied them 7-7. Well, guys, it's been 33 minutes. Shoot my mouth off. Anybody spent any time at all watching any of this, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate it. Or if anybody spends any time at all watching the replay of this, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. You guys rock. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as always, guys, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.